Hey guys, and welcome to My Biohack. Today we're going to talk about small fiber neuropathy and what happens with junction dysfunction when microcapillary loss happens in the nerves. And you may have been diagnosed with small fiber neuropathy, or you have neuropathies after having like post-viral illness or long COVID or neuralgia of certain areas. And so we're going to break down kind of what's going on there so you can see in a clearer picture. So here's a nerve bundle here. We can see the endoneurium, we can see the epineurium, and we can see nerve fibers and capillaries. So these here, let me try to mark some of this stuff. So these guys here are, let's get rid of those. These guys here are arterioles, and these are venules. You've got capillaries, and essentially these ones here are coming with oxygen from the lungs, where these guys are returning the oxygen and glucose that it's delivered to the cells in the nerves. All right. So we look at these here, and what happens to the destruction when these guys get killed off because of this process here. This is essentially what's happening with the glycocalyx and junction dysfunction. So let me just break this down really simply and quickly. That way you're caught up to modern day science. These are your blood vessels. These are your endothelial cells here. These guys here are your endothelial cells. They make up your blood vessels. And this is like a red blood cell here. It travels and delivers oxygen and glucose and important molecules for your cells to thrive. It has a structure on it called the glycocalyx, which is on these endothelium cells. It's also you also have this cholesterol sulfate group here, which is negatively charged. And if you know physics and magnetism, negative and negative, they will repel each other. So they go opposite directions. So they're pushed against each other. That's how this is able to freely flow. Okay, now what happens if you have glycocalyx destruction on part of your endothelium? These red blood cells will get stuck and create essentially thrombosis here, where blood cannot flow freely across. So you get ischemia and then you get hypoxia. So this is not happening. Your red blood cells are not flowing anymore. All right. Now, when this happens, that causes destruction of the rest of the nerve or the capillary that this is. Let me show you just like another picture of what this would look like in a capillary system. So we pull up to the capillaries here. These are what your capillaries kind of look like. This is coming from the heart. This is going back to the heart and the lungs. Okay, let me change the color here so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so this is coming, this is going, and it's bringing red blood cells with it. Now, when you lose this glycocalyx layer, because the glycocalyx is hanging out all around all these like lines, all this stuff here, it blocks off this, and it blocks off that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that. And so you might have just like one area that red blood cells can go through and transport oxygen and glucose. That's a problem, right? You have a lot of other tissue in here that needs supplies. So when that happens here in the nerve cells, blockage there, blockage here, these nerves are not getting their oxygen and glucose. And so let's take a look at a nerve cell here. So nerve cells, they are comprised of axons here. These are the big axon, and they're connected on each one, or this is one big axon. They all have like little myelin sheaths here that protect it. They've got Schwann cells that help regenerate and protect part of its own immune system. Now, the myelin sheath is really important for conduction, so electrical impulses can be sent, but when blood and oxygen cannot get to here, it starts to break down, and that causes what's called Wallerian degeneration. And we'll get to Wallerian degeneration in just 1 second, because we need to talk about mast cells and how mast cells are villainified. Mast cells, they secrete histamine. And histamine's main role in the endothelial system is to vasodilate and to open up tight junctions. Now, when you have this blockage here, trying to get red blood cells through it, mast cells will produce histamine to try to open this up more. That way it can come, red blood cells can like bring oxygen and glucose through again. That's kind of, they're also implicated in like remodeling, but they get vilified in this whole setup. But because of this blockage, you get this essentially wound healing cycle stuck in inflammation. And Schwann cells also get stuck there. You get macrophages and debris. And so what you get is Wallerian degeneration. Wall is what you're stuck in. What you want to be in is Wallerian regeneration. And that's, you know, the junction dysfunction guide that I have posted below is pretty much talking about how you can move this whole thing and repair this whole system as well. So in Wallerian degeneration, your axon, the nucleus is sending out peptides to try to regenerate the axon. The Schwann cells come in. It creates a lot of debris, and your macrophages and other phagocytes come in and chomp this stuff up to try to eat the debris. But it also causes collateral damage to your myelin sheath and the axon. And you can feel that over days to weeks to months, depending on how long and how intense it is, can cause breakdown. This also happens in actual physical trauma, but this, you know, has been shown to happen in viruses as well. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for what a virus would do. Here's a pretty good picture. So we have here like a dengue virus. You can see how mast cells are trying to do this. This is not necessarily in the nerve. I don't have that picture ready for this this presentation, but there are plenty of pictures in the junction dysfunction guide. So if you want to learn how to heal this whole setup, shift this to the right thing, stop vilifying mast cells and histamine because they are not the bad guys. They're trying to heal you, and want to learn more about how antibodies are actually trying to heal you, how Schwann cells work, how the capillary system works, and the glycocalyx works in junction dysfunction. I have a whole guide. It's called Junction Dysfunction, and it's all about long COVID, post-viral illness, things I've done to help myself and my clients with actionable steps that you can use too, along with the guidance of your doctor or primary care physician. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If it was, be sure to like it. And if you want to see more videos from my biohack about this kind of stuff or just natural sciences in general, be sure to subscribe. If you want to access to the guide, be sure to go to my biohack. It's in the linked description before, and sign up for the junction dysfunction guide. And I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay beautiful.